I cover fights for a living. I don't know what you do. Maybe you do something else. Maybe you deliver the mail. Maybe you're an attorney. Maybe you're, I don't know. I don't know what you do. All the jobs are noble, and all of it is important work. Here's what you need to understand. It does not matter who you are or what your line of work in. The place where you work, the corporate entity, even if it's a good situation, and by the way, it might be a bad one, but even if it's a good one, they may not understand your value. And even if they give you like decent work to do, they may not understand what you could really contribute. Corporations, no matter what they are, they're run by people, of course, but they have their own kind of ethos or values or what they respect or what they look for in employees in certain roles under certain projects. You might have a metric ton of ability, and their ability to recognize that might be pretty nil. What does this have to do with Nate Diaz? Well, the answer is, man, if you have ever been in a job and you're like, I'm better than this, and they don't seem to understand this, I can do more, and they don't seem to understand this, you're not crazy. Well, you might be crazy, but there's a decent chance you're not crazy. The place you're in, dude, people suck at talent identification. They're not good at it. I've said this before. You look at in American football with the NFL Combine, you have a billion-dollar organization spending tens of millions of dollars to find the next talent and on defensive and offensive sides of the ball. And more often than not, they kind of get it wrong. Right? They're not very good at it. And they do all kinds of tests and all kinds of footage they have to make decisions about it. And they still routinely fuck it up. Dude, the place you're in and you work, if you've ever felt like you weren't valued and they could treat you different and you're better than that, you're probably right, man. Nate Diaz has the kind of brand that just doesn't work with, typically anyway, the UFC's corporate ethos and their corporate values. It's not like so far outside of it that there's no way to make it work, but it is a bit of a strain in terms of how they normally do things. When he was out there saying, I could be promoted different, I could be in fights to be a bigger star, there's more here, who was right? Who was right? And you could say whatever you want about the Conor fight. Yeah, absolutely. That played an integral role in the way in which he was able to burst to stardom. But when you say things like he's not a needle mover, you're saying that as a way that's existentially true. Like there's really not much you could do to fix that. A little bit here, a little bit there, but it just is what it is. And people who say, no, I have value that you don't see. Let this be a lesson to all of you. The place where you work may very well, I'm not telling you to go to put in your 2 weeks, but I'm just saying, the place where you work may not understand your value even a little bit because they're guiding under a certain operation, they're guiding under a certain ethos, a certain expectation, and their talent identification probably sucks. It probably sucks. So always remember the Nate Diaz case. People who believe that they're more than what the place where they work says they are. They're not crazy. They're actually right. They just need a chance. And do you think about that Conor fight, or the two of them anyway, what would have happened to Nate if that never happened? Right? Oh, well then I guess UFC wins the debate. But you're seeing now, under the right circumstances, this is absolutely somebody that people will gravitate towards. That's not true for everybody. Not everybody can be somebody that's a hero to people. Right? Oh, well, it was the Conor fight that did it. Okay, the Conor fight was a major, unbelievable catalyst. But then you got to be somebody that people want to know. You got to be somebody that people want to care about and identify with and gravitate towards. And not everybody has that. Nate Diaz has that. This is the chief lesson that if you've ever felt undervalued at your workplace or misunderstood or that they're so much more capable, you are right. In all likelihood, there's a decent chance you're right. They're not good at this, these places where we work, for the most part. They're not that great at it. So find a way to get out of that morass if at all possible. Because if you don't, then it's just going to be one of those scenarios where the bosses expect the bigotry of their low expectations will end up defining your existence. And Nate would have just been a footnote. Right? Would have just been the lesser of two Diaz brothers. That's what he would have been. Look at him now. Look at him now. Pretty amazing. Self-belief is real, man. Self-belief is important. Understanding your worth and understanding your value is important. And when people come to me, it's like, well, they don't move the needle. Well, right. But if you're in a place that doesn't really know what to do with you, of course you're not going to move the needle.